All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Rock and Roll Rebel Show. I'm your man. We're live. We have the debt ceiling. They're on the floor right now. I'm watching it. We're going to see what happens. Will they block it or will they fold like cheap suits and let it go through? I have a feeling they might let it go through. Maybe some last minute stuff. It just goes to show you that everybody's a uniparty. We're going to pull this up here shortly. Right now, they just got all the politicians out there just jibber-jabbing, saying vote for it, don't vote for it, talking all their nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it, baby. Let's get into it. Is it going to pass? Is it going to pass? I don't know. But thank you for tuning in. We're live. And we're going to see what happens. And, got to wear the merch. All right, let's pull this up. It's basically them just jibber-jabbering right now. It was a busy day. Back and forth on this. I'm going to pull this up right now, and let's see if we can watch a little of this live.
Unemployment, increase credit ratings, or increase interest rates, and risk retirees and devastate their 401ks. A default would also jeopardize numerous investments in the American worker in the 117th Congress, including the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. This bill not only increased created jobs, but it also, with a strong Buy American provision, strengthened our domestic steel and manufacturing base, and it also allows for our members, our veterans, to be protected and puts funds dedicated to the health benefits and provides resources for the Toxic Exposure Fund. I appreciate the dedicated work of the administration and the Democratic colleagues. For my neighbor Gretchen, who had anxiety about her 401k, this bill supports the American worker. It supports the American industry, the steel industry, and it also
Gentleman's time's expired.
Protects the American dream. I'm voting yes.
Gentleman from Missouri is recognized.
I reserve, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from Missouri reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts
Mr. Speaker,
is
could I
recognized.
inquire as to how much time?
Gentleman from Massachusetts has 5 minutes remaining.
Okay.
Gentleman from Missouri has 2.5 minutes.
We're waiting on one speaker, and I'd like to move this along, depending on what the chairman's position is.
Prepared to close. We're prepared to close.
You're prepared to close?
Yes.
Not here. We're prepared to close.
This gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized for closing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think that this has been an elevating conversation about how we arrived here tonight. Our colleagues on the other side, they voted for the infrastructure bill, they voted for the CHIPS Act, they voted for the CARES Act, they voted for the defense spending increases, and they voted for a tax cut in 2017 that borrowed $2.3 trillion that was added to the national debt. Now, for those who might be paying attention tonight, the national debt is the cumulative effect of deficits. These were annual deficits that were run up. Neither party is responsible for the pandemic. On March 11th of 2020, we were warned what was coming. 20 million jobs evaporated. Tonight, in some measure, because of the leadership of Joe Biden, every one of those jobs has been returned, and 9.5 million jobs go unanswered.
What are they talking about?
In this negotiation, which means you don't get everything you want,
Crazy.
there are some quality moments that we take great credit for. We defended Social Security, despite the fact there were 3 Republican senators who proposed cuts to Social Security. That's the reality. We defended Medicare. We defended Medicaid, and we defended veterans' benefits. And very proud of the fact that we wrote the Pandemic Relief Act. There's a group here tonight, I've been here long enough to know this, they were against this before they were against it. They were against it years ago. Never mind tonight. But this moment of bringing the nation to default,
Yes,
what
default.
this does, or what it would do to the American dollar as the currency of choice for the world,
Look at this dumb
what this would do in treasury markets for liquidity purposes, what this would do to the hard-earned 401k plans of the American family, to take us to this moment. in this showdown that we had. This argument tonight was never about perfection. All 435 members of this House would probably have written a different version of this bill. But in divided government, that's not reality. Now, the last point I want to make is this. In coming days after this righteous debate about balancing the budget, our Republican colleagues are about to offer a massive tax cut. We need to be ready because of the fiscal rectitude that they have offered on this floor tonight. So the corresponding responsibility of all of us is to point out what they intend to do with another tax cut. 201, $1.3 trillion. And by the way, with 2 wars and 2 million more veterans that we need to support. Now, the other reality is back in 2003, another $1 trillion of tax cuts. And the worst one of all, that tax cut in December of 2017, where they borrowed $2.3 trillion for a tax cut that went to the wealthiest among us and had very meager economic growth. So this debate tonight was a good and spirited one because we also have, I think, found a common purpose in passing this legislation. But let's engage this debate going forward. If we want the things that we say they want, we're going to have to pay for them. And that means at some point revisiting these tax cuts that have been put on the table in an arbitrary fashion and, as I noted, with borrowed money. I yield back the balance of my time.
Shut up, bitch! The gentleman from Massachusetts yields back the balance of his time. The gentleman from Missouri is recognized.
You know, Mr. Speaker, we hear the other side of the aisle over and over talk about the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. Well, let me tell you about the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. Last year, we had record revenue into the United States of $4.9 trillion, which was $900 billion plus more than what Joint Tax and CBO predicted what would happen upon passage of the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. The Tax Cut and Jobs Act delivered for a family of 4 who makes less than $60,000 a year that they pay 0 in federal taxes.
Gentlemen will suspend. The House will be in order. Members will remove their conversations from the floor. The gentleman deserves to be heard. The gentleman is recognized.
But, Mr. Speaker, let's talk about tax cuts. The other side passed something called the Inflation Reduction Act, and it was tax cuts for their wealthy donors. In fact, the CBO just came out with a new score saying that it cost over $700 billion. But guess what? 90% of your tax credits go to corporations with more than $1 billion in revenues. And it goes to $125 billion to China. That is what your tax cuts did. After years of Washington running in the wrong direction, we have an opportunity to take meaningful steps in the right direction on addressing America's debt crisis. The American people deserve nothing less. They see what inflation caused by reckless spending of the Democrat Party has done to their family budgets, to their retirement security, and to their small business plans. We have the opportunity to end the constant doling out of tax dollars under the guise of COVID relief. We have the opportunity to downsize the $80 billion pay raise that was given to the IRS last year. The IRS does not need a raise. It needs a reckoning. We have the opportunity to support those who can work, to find work and climb out of poverty. We have the opportunity to put some guardrails on the administration so if they are going to spend tax dollars by executive fiat, they have to find savings somewhere else. We have the opportunity and the responsibility to address our debt crisis as we address the debt ceiling. Yield back, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from Missouri yields back his balance of his time. Members are reminded to direct their remarks to the chair. All time for debate has expired pursuant to House Resolution 456. The previous question is ordered on the bill as amended. Question is on engrossment and third reading of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Third reading.
provide for a responsible increase to the debt ceiling.
The question is on passage of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Aye. No. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. Without objection. Purposes of gentleman. Gentleman from Massachusetts asked for a recorded vote. Those in favor of a recorded vote will rise. Sufficient number having arisen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. Pursuant to Clause 9 of Rule 20, this 15-minute vote on passage of the bill will be followed by a 5-minute vote on the motion to suspend the rules and pass H.R. 2797. This is a 15-minute vote.
And a final passage vote here in the House of the bipartisan deal to increase the U.S. debt limit until 2025. It also caps federal discretionary spending and rescinds some of the unspent COVID-19 pandemic relief funds and takes back money allocated to the IRS. The measure needs a majority to pass before being sent to the Senate for consideration. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the bill will get the votes to pass in the Senate before heading to President Joe Biden's desk. This agreement was reached after multiple meetings between negotiators for House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and the president. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen originally projected a June 1st deadline until the U.S. defaults on its debt. The date was later revised, pushing it back to June 5th. This is a 15-minute vote.
All right, let's see what's going to happen. Is it going to pass? Yay, nay? Yay, nay? We got 16, 68, 24. 36, you know what I'm saying? Why's my voice so loud? All right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Thank you all for tuning in to the Rock and Roll Rebel Show, where we give real news, not that fake news, and it looks like it's going to pass. Yep, it's going to pass. It's amazing. It's amazing the way they destroy this country on the backs of taxpayers. It's amazing. But what are you going to do, people? What are you going to do? We got 12 minutes remaining. Guess they're working on some stuff right there, it looks like, but who knows? Who knows? You see that new, I guess why this is going on. You see they got Trump supposedly on tape talking about how he took classified documents. It's like, they'll just do anything. You know, they'll just put anything out there hoping it'll stick. I mean, they're bad on Trump. They're trying to make DeSantis look worse than Trump for some strange reason. I don't know. I guess they feel like DeSantis could probably take the crowd, and they figure if Trump gets the nomination, people just hate Trump. You know what I mean? They'll fall for the election and the voting machines and the mail-in ballot stuff, but none of that'll work. None of that'll work. I think DeSantis is just in it just to make sure he remains number 2, and then he's on the wishful thinking that Trump gets indicted on something stupid, some other charges. Who knows? I got no clue. But we're up to 81 Republicans, yeah, and then you got 28 nays, 39 Democrats. So this should go through, I believe. It's wild. So they're just going to kick this can down the line and add $4 more trillion to the debt. Ooh, wait. But what are you going to do? I'm going to let this kick back off, I guess, and see what happens. Did you all see also, I'm trying to watch this. Who knows? But I'm going to put this screen back up and we're going to let this go through, and then we'll talk about it after the vote. I'm just trying to get that algorithm pumped, you know what I'm saying? Beats the hell out of me, right?
It doesn't matter what you think.
Remember to stay safe, like and subscribe. People, like and subscribe. We're just putting out this content. It looks like we're down to the last 10 minutes of the voting. It should pass. They all look excited. They're all just sitting around doing nothing. Must be one of the easiest jobs in the world, you know what I'm saying? You just show up, do nothing, and throw some votes down, because it's all lawyers and everything behind the scenes. I mean, these guys aren't doing nothing. They just vote on it, but it's neither here nor there. So let's bring this screen out full size and see what happens. All right, we're getting down to the last 2 minutes, everybody. The last 2 minutes. I guess they're going to get to 218, right? That's what they got to get to, right? What do you think all these bums are going to be doing after this? They all going to be going out to D.C. somewhere, right? They're all going to be getting into something. Maybe they go down to basements at pizza shops. You know what I'm saying? Look at these guys. There's Matt Gaetz. Who's he talking to? Chip Roy and all them back there. I don't know any of these old white dudes. It's all old white dudes. Huh. It's interesting. Hmm. 1 minute 40. So you got some no votes. 201. So some people might not no vote. You know, that's better than voting for something that's stupid. At 203. So I have a feeling all those no votes are going to come rushing in. There's Jeffries. He's got to rhyme about everything. What's up with him with just rhyming with everything, bro? Wow. That's it. This is our leaders. They're all together. They're all hooting and hollering, laughing, texting. They're in there flirting. Because you know what they say.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
That's all in there, too. I guarantee it. It's in a couple pockets. It's in some pockets.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It's in some of their pockets. I guarantee it. 212. 212. I guess the Democrats are just sandbagging. Now they're just going to pump it through. They're all going to hit their votes. It should fly, and it's passed with flying colors, folks. 4 more trillion added. Got all the IRS agents out there. We got to be careful, though. We got to be 100% careful now. I see the Department of Justice went after who's the governor of West Virginia? Something's kid. I guess because he's beaten not the governor, but the Senate race. I guess he's beaten Manchin. The Republicans beating Manchin out there in West Virginia because 2024, Manchin's up for a Senate spot, I believe. No, he's losing. So that's it, folks. That's it. It's blowing by. 238. It is up. We have lost, people. We have lost. It's amazing what these people do. It's amazing. But what we gonna do? What we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? We try to hide the real facts. We try to say we landed on the moon. Y'all got any moon stuff? You know what I like to watch? I like when the Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin just landed back on Earth, and then they gave a press conference. If you watch that press conference, it's hard to find, but if you go on like YouTube and watch their press conference, it's like a ghost went over them. It's like, oh, you figure they'd be so excited. But it's just real awkward and weird that they just came back from the moon and they're just like, ugh. You figured you'd be joyful. And then my second favorite one is the moon shot when they're on the moon and they got a picture of Earth and Earth's all tiny. You know what I mean? But Earth's supposedly like, I don't know, 4 times the size of the moon. So that didn't add up. Because I go outside, I can see the moon real big. So you figure they'd be able to see it from the moon real big. That's something else. And then I think the boots, too. The boots. Like, you got the one boot where it's like a long boot, and the other one's like traction boots, they say. But like, so those didn't add up. And then when it took off, the spaceship took off with all that tinfoil wrapped around it, that shot is one of the funniest shots ever. But other than that, you know, it's probably one of your best conspiracy theories to get into is the moon. Start with that one, and then branch off into other stuff. But the moon one's probably one of the funnest. All right, folks, it looks like this is over with. It's over. The bill has passed. What are you going to do? So next time they raise the debt ceiling, they're not going to be able to raise the debt ceiling next time. What's going to happen now? I mean, it's going to be out of control. They're going to have to default. Maybe if a Republican gets in, they default on the Republican. And then he gets all the bad political news for that. You know what I'm saying? And they can get somebody else in. Maybe they can get Don Lemon on. Anybody seen him from CNN lately? I haven't seen him. Oh, well, I guess we're going to jump off here, people. We're going to have to jump off here. The vote is in. The vote is in. The debt ceiling increase will come, and you can thank the Uniparty. You can thank the deep state. They love taking 40% of your money every year. So until then, make sure you like and subscribe, people. Like and subscribe. And I will see you all mañana.